Good evening. I'm Rohit Sharma and welcome to Desi from DC, coming to you every night from heart of Washington. This is where America's power corridor meet India's prime time to break down the political, economic and global stories that shape both the nations live from Washington DC. From Capitol Hill to Rise on a Hill, we connect the dots between what happens here in Washington and how it echoes back home in India. We begin tonight with the big stories of the day. Trump says, I don't care about Epstein files. What happens next? Musk backs Ford CEO. Americans avoid hard work as 120,000 mechanic jobs go unfulfilled. 3 dead after US military strike suspected drug boat in Pacific. Canada's Carney faces make or break budget vote that could force election. Supreme Court to decide, can Trump administration limit asylum processing? The United States will fast-track visa appointments for foreign fans attending next year's FIFA World Cup matches in America. President Donald Trump announced today that Washington will set up a priority scheduling system for visa interviews, making it easier for football fans from around the world to attend matches that would take place from June 11th to June 19th next year. Speaking in the Oval Office, Trump said government agencies have worked to ensure that soccer fans from all around the world are properly vetted and able to come to the US next summer. The president said that his administration has already set up visa processing for most countries, with wait times now down to only 60 days or fewer.
Well, thank you very much, and good afternoon. I'm delighted to welcome FIFA President Gianni Infantino, one of the greatest men of sport. He is an amazing man. He's done an incredible job with FIFA. Congratulations on the job. I hear you're setting records for the World Cup. We'll talk about it, but setting records in ticket sales for the World Cup. And we love having you back at the White House, Johnny, and everybody that's with you. You guys have done fantastically. And now we're getting ready for an even bigger event next year as we host the official 2026 FIFA World Cup. That's the big one. The World Cup tournament. This will be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, even for our country, because frankly, this goes to countries, everybody wants it. I guess it's going all over the world. Do you know who's getting it the next time around? Who's getting it? Has that been selected?
The next one will be Morocco, Spain, and Portugal.
That's good.
With 3 matches at the beginning in South America, Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay. And the one after will be Saudi Arabia in 2034.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Well, we have the king coming, Crown Prince is coming tomorrow. This will be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to showcase the greatness of America and world-class athletic competition as we celebrate our nation's 250th year. The World Cup will also be an incredibly significant economic opportunity for countless American workers and businesses. It's expected to drive more than $30 billion, Johnny. I don't know about that. That sounds like a lot of money.
No, it's true.
Are you sure?
100%.
How much does the country get out of that?
30 billion.
20%? No, do we get like a percentage of the gross or anything?
That's for negotiation.
That's right.
Trump said the World Cup could generate up to $30 billion for the US economy and create about 200,000 jobs. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced that State Department has added 400 consular officers to process visas, doubling the presence in certain countries. The US is offering prioritized appointments so fans can complete their visa interviews and show that they qualify, Rubio said. FIFA President Gianni Infantino, speaking at the White House, said between 5 million to 10 million people are expected to come to the US for the matches. Over 1 million tickets have already been purchased by fans from 212 countries. The tournament will be hosted across 11 US cities along with venues in Mexico and Canada. FIFA said ticket holders will receive more information of the priority visa appointment early next year. Silicon Valley entrepreneur and venture capitalist Asha Jadeja Motwani posted on X that she met with President Trump this past weekend at Mar-a-Lago. She posted on X that she was able to influence his decision, especially when it came to the guest worker visa program. A short while ago, I was joined on the show by Asha Jadeja Motwani, and I asked her about that meeting and what that means for India-US relationship. And joining us now is Asha Jadeja Motwani. Asha ji, thank you so much for doing this. First things first, there's a lot going on, when it comes to Indian Americans. Even CNN did an article yesterday about hate that's directed about Indian American. What's your take on all of this that's going on in America right now?
So, a couple of things. First is that apparently there are a lot of fake account farms, troll farms that are coming from both Pakistan, Bangladesh, and perhaps even Qatar. Those are being funded by oil money.
Mhm.
And what it's doing is it's targeting the mega base. And the mega base tends to be, lesser uh, I would say lesser. I mean, first of all, there's a lot of working class people. They could be, lesser sort of East Coast, West Coast educated kind of folks, and I think it's very easy to panic and threaten and scare people into, saying here is a group of people that is, too successful or just too organized and doesn't care about the U.S. or things like that. So these troll farms that are funded by outside parties are making us look bad. It's not so much US. This is not homegrown. This is not organic. It's not coming from the US. It's coming from troll farms that have figured out that there is a social media recipe for
Mhm.
generating hate
Mhm.
amongst the mega crowd. They've figured it out and they are playing on it. So this is something the Indian side must investigate and expose, if possible. If we have, our intelligence community must expose it. I will also bring it to the attention of the U.S. intelligence community and see if we can ban these troll farms because those might be millions of accounts,
Right.
and they are doing substantial damage. But I would not worry about it too much because really as far as the general perception of Americans goes, they see Indians mostly as engineers and doctors. Their doctors are Indians. Their spelling bee, 3 and 4 and 8 and 10-year-old kids are Indians. They're seeing a whole different demographic. I would not worry so much about it. I think they see us
Okay.
as a model minority, and this temporary damage done by Pakistan and the oil money, I think it's temporary, and we will expose it.
Okay. Now, going on to what you actually posted this weekend, you were at Mar-a-Lago. You shadowed President Trump when he was golfing. You met with him, and you wrote down, a long piece on Twitter about how you've been able to communicate with President Trump. Tell us a little bit more about that. Give us more what you were able to on Twitter. What was that conversation like? What did President Trump say? And then his position on guest worker visas. How did that happen?
So, first of all, remember, I've been a supporter of President Trump for many years now, and I've been a fan of his for a long time. My first real interaction with him, one on one, face to face, was in David Sachs' home in San Francisco before he was elected as the president.
Mhm.
I think he's a very special person that we have. He has achieved in one year what no other president has achieved in decades in terms of peace around the planet and growth within the US. He's brought in tons of manufacturing, he's brought in a lot of investments. So President Trump is somebody that a lot of America is beginning to really to like and follow. There might be a little bit of hiccups every now and then, but I think he's delivering on the results. So that's one thing. Second thing is that why was I meeting him in Mar-a-Lago? Well, it was an opportunity for me to get to meet him, and I took it.
Mhm.
And I feel that more of us need to be doing it, but at least I'm there for now. And I'm there not just as a voice of India and voice for Indian Americans, but I'm also a voice of Silicon Valley.
Mhm.
I want to make sure that we have that the president and JD Vance, who I met also just a day before I met the president, I met him in Tennessee, that all of our leaders are understanding that the freedom to innovate in Silicon Valley is crucial to the fabric of American leadership on the planet. And we are, in the valley, we are joining forces with the president, fighting with him, toe to toe on making sure that AI is regulated at a federal level and
Mhm.
not at a state level. So we are fighting that battle. So I'm representing not just the Indian community, but also the valley. And I had this opportunity. I was there. And the president said, follow me on the golf course, which, to be honest, I was a little bit surprised. But it was very nice to be there with him. He's he's an incredibly charming human being, very kind-hearted, very nice. And one characteristic about President Trump that nobody knows is that he's got excellent sense of humor. He cracks jokes nonstop. I don't know. I mean, people have not seen this, but when he's on his own turf, when his hair is down, he is he's cracking jokes nonstop. And for me, it was an opportunity to really get a few words across to him about my own passion for India. And I feel that India and America are old friends, and that this friendship must only be strengthened, nothing else.
Did he, when you spoke to him, did he give any, you said things will be great between India and the US again.
Yeah.
Did he give any, indication as to when we can expect a trade deal at all?
No, none of that right now. But I must say that I think as I go forward myself, remember, I'm brand new to Washington, D.C. I'm not an insider yet, and I'm trying right now to get my own foot in the door. And I think as I do, I will get to know how everything works. But overall, there is such a widespread sense of goodwill and trust in India and in Indian leadership, especially for Prime Minister Modi.
Mhm.
There's a lot of goodwill towards Prime Minister Modi as far as Trump goes and as far as Trump's team goes. So we have a good situation going there, and I don't want Indians to be overreacting on any of this. And remember, CNN is paid media. A lot of it is fake news. A lot of it is paid media. Pakistanis are piggybacking on Qatari lobby, so they are already there speaking to CNN. Discount all of that. Main thing right now is that we have goodwill and respect in Washington, D.C. and across the US like no other community. And we should be proud of that, and we must execute on that, you know.
Last question before I let you go, Ashaji, what's next in terms of, what were your takeaways? Is President Trump, going to be, again, are you going to see him soon, or is he traveling to India? Did he talk about it? Did he talk about Prime Minister Modi? Anything that you can share with us?
Well, here is what I'm keeping my fingers crossed about. Okay. I'm going to be in Mar-a-Lago starting Wednesday, day after tomorrow. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I'll see him again. And I'll get a chance to. I have a list of things. I actually have a list of things that I want to run by him if he can give me the time. If he gives me 5 minutes, I'll be, eating his ear off on all this list of things. But I think, as far as the president goes, I think he's done a fantastic job of taking charge of, the situation in Latin America. I'm very glad that the jihadi elements. I mean, there is Hezbollah in Venezuela, so I'm glad that we have our ship, our warship now in Venezuela, and we've asked Maduro to leave peacefully. I think the president is taking decisive action in making sure that we don't have this fentanyl and drug, shipments coming from that part of the world. So I think he's taking decisive action, and I'm hoping to meet him again in about 3 to 5 days.
Okay. All right, Ashaji, thank you so much, and we'll look forward to having you back here so you can share your insights directly from President Trump and also Vice President J.D. Vance, who you also saw over this weekend. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you for having me.
Sajid Wazid, son of former Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, has strongly condemned the death sentence handed to his mother by special tribunal, calling it a complete violation of justice. Here's an exclusive interview by my colleague Maria Shakil with Sheikh Hasina's son Sajid Wazid, who's also residing in Washington, D.C.
And let me go straight to Washington, D.C., where Sajid Wazid is joining me live now, Sheikh Hasina's son. Sajid, thank you for speaking to India today. My first question is, you would have heard about the verdict which has come in. What are your thoughts, the death sentence announced against your mother, the former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina?
Oh, thank you very much for having me. Look, everyone knew this sentence was predetermined. These trials were rushed. I mean, it's a historic trial, and they finished it in 2 months, 3 months. This is an unelected, unconstitutional, undemocratic government. They amended the laws, which can't be done without Parliament, to enable this trial. She was not allowed to send her own defense attorneys. It's a complete mockery of justice.
Okay. But Sajib, my next question would be, when did you last speak to your mother? Did you speak to her after the sentence was announced?
No, actually, I'm sure she has been on the phone. I've called her. I've not had a chance to speak to her. She did not answer, so I have not spoken to her in a couple of days.
As far as the legal route is concerned, what is the family planning to do next? What is Awami League, your mother's party, going to do next?
Right now, there is no rule of law in Bangladesh. The constitution is basically being disregarded. So right now, there's nothing much to do. Once the rule of law returns, all of this will get thrown out on appeals because the entire process is so illegal and unconstitutional that it will not survive. So any legal process will have to wait until there is a rule of law in Bangladesh.
Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney faces make-or-break moment today as Parliament votes on his first budget, a vote that could trigger a snap election. Carney's Liberal Party is short of majority in the 343 House of Commons, meaning he needs support from opposition lawmakers or abstentions to survive the vote scheduled for 6:45 p.m. today. The budget proposes doubling the fiscal deficit to counter US tariffs and fund major defense and housing programs. It also includes plans to reduce the number of federal government employees, though it stops short of deep austerity cuts some had feared. If the budget fails, Canada could face its second federal election in less than a year. However, recent polls suggest that Liberals would likely retain power if voters head to polls again. The official opposition Conservative Party is dealing with internal turmoil following their April election loss. Leader Pierre Poilievre faces a formal performance review in January, weakening the party's position to challenge Carney's government. Political analysts are watching closely. A budget defeat would throw Canada into political uncertainty at a time when the country is grappling with economic pressures from the US trade policies. For millions of naturalized Americans who came to this country legally, worked hard, and earned their citizenship, a troubling question is emerging. How secure is their citizenship really? New Justice Department guidance is directing officials to set up denaturalization efforts, the rare process of stripping citizenship from naturalized Americans. While the government says it's targeting cases involving fraud, crimes, or national security, the move has sparked anxiety among immigrant communities. Some naturalized citizens now carry passports everywhere, even for domestic travel, fearing their status could be questioned. Here's a report to know more. Naturalized US citizens, people who come to the United States, build their lives here, and eventually earn citizenship, say they are experiencing new level of uncertainty. Recent immigration policies have raised questions about how secure their citizenship truly is, and whether the rights they believed were permanent could now be challenged. The concern is rooted in a series of policy moves from the federal government. The Justice Department has issued new guidance directing officials to increase efforts to review and, when appropriate, pursue denaturalization against individuals who may have committed certain crimes or who are viewed as national security risks. While denaturalization has long existed in the US law, the renewed focus on it has created a sense of vulnerability among some naturalized citizens. For some people, like Dora Sisi, a refugee from Sierra Leone who became a US citizen after fleeing civil war, the shift feels deeply personal. Sisi told the Associated Press that he believed citizenship represented a promise of belonging. Today, he says that promise feels less certain. The unease stretches beyond legal policy. Some naturalized citizens say they now think twice before traveling internationally, fearing the possibility of being questioned or held up when returning home. A few have even expressed hesitation about domestic travel, carrying passports at all times despite having state-issued IDs. They describe these steps as precaution they never imagined needed to take as American citizens. Immigration experts say that the US citizenship has not always been a fixed or stable protection, especially during points of political tension. They point out that throughout American history, the definition of who fully belongs has shifted within the political climate. Today's environment, they say, echoes some of those earlier periods where policy and enforcement shaped people's sense of security. For now, the federal government maintains that the recent actions are focused on specific cases involving fraud, crime, or national security. But for many naturalized citizens, the broader effect is growing anxiety and a renewed debate about the meaning and permanence of American citizenship. US forces have carried out another deadly strike on a suspected drug trafficking boat in the Eastern Pacific, killing 3 people aboard. The operation took place Saturday when a small vessel traveling along no narcotics route was targeted by Joint Task Force Southern Spear. US Southern Command said intelligence confirmed the vessel was involved in drug smuggling and carrying narcotics. The command released video footage showing the boat being blown up at the sea. This marks the 21st known US strike on alleged drug boats since early September, a rapid escalation that has killed at least 83 people according to Pentagon figures. The Trump administration defends the operation as necessary to disrupt drug shipments headed to the United States. Officials say the mission will continue as long as necessary to shut down maritime drug routes. However, the strikes have drawn criticism from lawmakers, human rights groups, and foreign partners who question the legal basis for using lethal force outside traditional combat zones. The Pentagon has not released details about the nationality or identity of those killed, and it's unclear if more such strikes are planned in the future. The Navy announced the carrier is accompanied by warships, fighter jets, and thousands of personnel, making it the largest US military presence in the region in generations. The strike group now includes nearly a dozen ships and about 12,000 sailors and Marines, along with guided missile destroyers. The deployment has raised questions about broader strategic aims in South America, especially as Washington continues pressuring Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's government. The Met just announced the 2026 Met Gala theme, Costume Art. The exhibition will pair 200 artworks with 200 garments to prove fashion belongs in museums alongside Renaissance masterpieces. Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez are sponsoring alongside Saint Laurent, with tickets at $75,000 and last year's gala raising about $31 million. Expect celebrities to arrive dressed as walking works of art next May. Here's a report.
Fashion's biggest night just got its marching orders for 2026, and the theme is costume art. The Met revealed this morning that next year's gala will ask the ultimate question: what's the best dress painting of all time? Opening May 10th, the exhibition will pair nearly 200 artworks with 200 garments and accessories, making the case that fashion deserves to hang right next to the Mona Lisa. Andrew Bolton, the Costume Institute's curator who picks these themes, says fashion has the status of art because of, and not in spite of, its relation to the body. Translation: clothes are art precisely because we wear them. And speaking of bodies, retired ballerina Misty Copeland was there to emphasize the show will celebrate all body types as works of art themselves. Now, if fashion is art sounds a bit obvious, the real news might be what's happening behind the scenes. The Met is dedicating 12,000 square feet of brand new exhibition space to the Costume Institute, naming it after Condé Nast founder Condé M. Nast. That's a big deal for fashion's place in the museum world. The sponsors: Saint Laurent, Condé Nast, and plot twist, Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez Bezos. The Amazon founder and his fiancée are making serious moves in the fashion world. They attended last year's gala, landed a Vogue cover, and just announced a $6.25 million partnership with the Council of Fashion Designers of America to promote sustainability. This Met Gala sponsorship is their latest play in transforming from tech billionaires to bona fide style power players. It's a remarkable rebrand for a guy who was once famous for wearing the same blue button down to every event. And of course, Anna Wintour was front and center at the announcement, because even though she's no longer Vogue's editor-in-chief, she still runs the Met Gala show. Last year's gala raised $31 million for the Costume Institute. With tickets reportedly costing $75,000 each, expect next May's red carpet to be packed with celebrities trying to dress like walking masterpieces. The question is, will we get Rihanna in a Botticelli-inspired gown or Zendaya as a living sculpture? We've got 5 months to speculate. With the Bangna Datta, Bureau Report, India Today Global.
Day one of dancing outside the immigration office, trying to get the 4th member of our boy band out of India and into America so we can win a Grammy.
Give Darshan a visa for the USA. Put him on a flight so he can work in LA.
I really want to sing and dance with you.
Make him our American boy, American boy.
La 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 la.
Voice needs a 1 million followers so I can be your American boy.
And that wraps up tonight's edition of Desi from DC. This is Rohit Sharma for India Today Global. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button before you leave. And stay tuned, stay informed, and as always, stay curious.